in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hola, Winstone. Boys and girls, hippies and straights around the world. And I, too, want to thank Steve for that terrific hook. Because the meme bandit rides again today, examining, in fact, this particular image. And I hope you like the tie-dyed bandana. Howsoever it may have in the past been misused or misappropriated by the misguided, such as Steve, who located in the universe of disorder alongside such dread social phenomena as dead babies, ugly women, and drug addiction, anarchism does exert a strong pull on many folks on the leftish side of the political spectrum. It's hard to disagree that we would probably all be a lot better off if we were not subject to the apparent random exercise of arbitrary fatal power. With its promise of mutualism and cooperation, anarchism seems to offer some relief from that. Much as I admire, even venerate Noam Chomsky, perhaps the most influential and erudite advocate of the anarchic ideal in our present discourse, there is at least one aspect of the whole system which it seems to me is overlooked, and it's this. As a functional system of social organization, anarchy probably requires every bit as much obedience, orthodoxy, and cooperation of its participants as any totalitarian state would. Any system requires an orderly, mutual, cooperative efforts by its participants for it to function and succeed. No community can function without internal rules, and the enforcement of those rules, whether by consent or by compulsion, is government. As such, for an anarchic community to succeed on its own terms, it seems ironically, they must, maybe even more so than totalitarian states, require almost absolute unanimity and have the capacity to exclude by some means or another those whose disagreements with the system threaten the internal cohesion of the whole. Now, what does an anarchic community do with people who do not cooperate? How does it exclude them, if it excludes them? By what means? Tribal societies are often held up as models of ideal leaderless anarchic systems, but tribal societies are notoriously unforgiving of violations of their norms. Trespasses against the community are ruthlessly rebuked, usually by some figure in the social order who does command mortal power. They unhesitatingly and swiftly banish violators who threaten the established order. If anarchic communities must exercise the same control, how do they do it without compromising their ideals? The thing one notices about anarchistic communities over the years is actually how short-lived their collective lifespans are. Yes, they are often subject to hostile interests and attacks therefrom. But that's just the point. What does an anarchic community do when some guy with an army and an attitude, and there are always such, doesn't like you and wants to shut you down? Anarchism is a dream, unfortunately, kind of a pipe dream. On large scales, cities and states, anarchist enclaves have been remarkably short-lived, most enduring only a couple of years, usually. There were at least 4 attempts at anarchistic communities in the 20th century. There were the Free Territories in Lithuania after 1918. They lasted about 3 years, but only because they were under the protection of a fierce guerrilla army. The Xinmin Autonomous Region in China endured 3 years also in the 20s. The revolutionary Catalonian regime was subdued in only about 11 months, between 1936 and 37, by Franco, of course. And the rural collectives of the anarchist Aragon movement didn't survive the fall of Catalonia. The archetype of such aspirations, the Paris Commune of 1871, collapsed inside 10 weeks. And of course all fell to hostile external opposition. When anarchism has been successfully implemented, it has usually been in small groups. It apparently is practicable only, as far as the human record is concerned, in monasteries and cloisters, communities of such integrated character and shared purpose that dissent is almost non-existent and opposition is obviated by strict adherence to external rules. Now, I'd like to think that some such sharing and respect is possible in communities, but I've been in the lineup, folks, I don't believe it. See you at the beach. Back to you in Hippie Central, Winstone.